Leviticus chapter 10 tells a tragic story. Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, offered unauthorized fire before the Lord. They were priests, chosen to serve in the tabernacle. Their role was sacred, requiring strict obedience to God's commands. What they offered seemed like a small thing, a deviation from the prescribed incense offering. But God took their actions seriously. Fire blazed forth from his presence, consuming them. Nadab and Abihu died in the tabernacle courtyard, a stark reminder of God's holiness and the deadly consequence of disobedience. This event sent shockwaves through the community, a sobering lesson for all who witnessed it. Their actions had consequences, not just for themselves, but for their families and the entire nation. The death of Nadab and Abihu underscores a fundamental truth. God is holy. Holiness is not just about being good, it is about being set apart, different and pure. God's presence demands reverence and absolute obedience. He had given specific instructions for worship, and any deviation, however small, was unacceptable. This event served as a stark warning against approaching God casually. The tabernacle, a symbol of God's presence among his people, was a place of awe and reverence. Nadab and Abihu's actions were not merely a mistake, they were a profane act that disregarded God's holiness. Their deaths served as a stark reminder of the seriousness of sin and the importance of approaching God with humility and obedience. Nadab and Abihu's sin was not just about offering the wrong incense, it was about failing in their priestly duty. They were chosen to be mediators between God and the people. This role demanded unwavering obedience to God's commands. Their actions demonstrated a disregard for this sacred responsibility. Their story highlights the crucial distinction between obedience and innovation in worship. God had outlined specific ways to approach him, and any deviation from these instructions was an act of disobedience. This principle applies not only to priests but to all believers. Our worship must be rooted in obedience to God's word, not in our own ideas or preferences. Leviticus chapter 11 shifts focus to another aspect of holiness, the distinction between clean and unclean animals. God provides detailed lists of creatures permissible and forbidden for consumption. These dietary laws have puzzled many, but they point to a deeper truth about God's order and design. These laws were not arbitrary health codes, though they did have practical implications for hygiene and health. Instead, they represented a system of categorization that reflected God's holiness. This system extended beyond food, encompassing various aspects of life, including bodily discharges and skin diseases, as discussed in Leviticus chapters 12 to 15. These laws emphasized the pervasiveness of holiness in the lives of God's people. The dietary laws served a practical purpose as well. They set the Israelites apart from their neighbors, creating a visible distinction. This distinction served as a constant reminder of their unique covenant relationship with God. It encouraged them to live differently, adhering to a higher standard. Furthermore, these laws fostered a sense of dependence on God. The Israelites could not simply eat whatever they wanted. They had to rely on God's provision and guidance. This dependence cultivated humility and obedience. The dietary laws, though seemingly mundane, played a significant role in shaping the Israelites' identity and relationship with God. Section 6. New Life, Ancient Rituals, the Significance of Childbirth. Leviticus chapter 12 introduces rituals surrounding childbirth. A woman who gave birth was considered ritually unclean for a period of time. This uncleanliness was not sinful, but a natural consequence of the life-giving process. It necessitated a time of purification before she could participate fully in the community and worship. These rituals, involving offerings and waiting periods, emphasized the sacredness of life and God's design for procreation. They acknowledged the power and mystery inherent in childbirth. These rituals also highlighted the importance of ritual purity in the life of God's people. Section 7. Purification and Consecration, a Mother's Journey. The purification rituals were not merely about cleansing, they were about consecration. The new mother, through her offerings and the passage of time, was rededicated to God along with her child. This process emphasized the importance of dedicating children to the Lord. These rituals also demonstrated God's mercy and grace. He understood the physical realities of childbirth and provided a way for women to be restored to a state of ritual purity. The process of purification was a reminder of God's holiness and his desire for his people to approach him in a state of wholeness. Section 8. Holiness in Everyday Life. Lessons from Leviticus. The seemingly disparate laws in Leviticus point to a unifying theme: holiness. This concept permeated every aspect of Israelite life, from worship to diet to childbirth. These laws were not meant to be burdensome, but to be a constant reminder of their unique relationship with God. These regulations taught the Israelites to see the world differently, recognizing God's presence and standards in every aspect of their lives. This understanding fostered a sense of reverence, obedience, and gratitude. Section 9. A timeless message: the enduring relevance of purity. Though we may not live under the Mosaic law, the principles of Leviticus remain relevant. The emphasis on holiness, obedience, and ritual purity transcends cultural and historical boundaries. These concepts challenge us to examine our own lives and our relationship with God. Leviticus reminds us that God is holy and demands our reverence and obedience. It also highlights the importance of purity in our worship, our lifestyle, and our relationships. While these specific rituals may no longer apply, the underlying principles remain timeless and essential for those who seek to live a life pleasing to God.